Welcome back to Out of the Park Baseball 24 and the Draft to Glory series. I am Laptop Hound, and this is 1913. Are you feeling a little old? It's 1913. Yes, this is the series where we try to build a championship through the draft process. That is it. No free agents. We don't need them. We don't need trades. Go away with those AI trades. We are going to build a team only through the draft, and results after 12 seasons kind of mixed. We have one championship and that is it. But again, we started with nothing. We started as the worst team in the league, so kind of a victory. Congratulations to the first giveaway winner. Those packs should have been sent out already, should have received them. And again, stay tuned. This episode and a skill testing question will come your way. Put your answer in the comments with your perfect team username down below, as always, and I will make the draw on the next video. This being recorded on Friday, September the 8th. If you are a winner, you may not get them until Monday or Tuesday. I tend to send pack requests out on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. So depending on when the videos are made for this series, you may have to wait a couple days to get those packs. But again, you can check if the transaction screen is working in your perfect team. You can check and it should say custom event 5 packs. So again, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for leaving your comments, your likes. It is 1913. This is what our team is looking like right now. We are calling up for a major league debut. L. Atkinson will make his debut. L was drafted in the 1911 draft. He was our first rounder, 6 overall, kind of the best of what was available. And you know what? He looks like he is going to want to work his way into the rotation, into the top 3. So Al Atkinson, he definitely is, looks like he's going to be a good prospect. Also, we have Marquise Grissom on the team. Now, he'll probably play more of a bench role, come off and pinch hit once in a while, pinch run. He is making his debut in Montreal, drafted in the 1908 draft, number 15 overall. I think this was the year that we won our championship, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go take a quick look. When did Montreal win their championship? In 1908. So yeah, this is this is the result of winning a championship. You get a very late pick in the draft, and it was Marquise Grissom. So we'll see how he does. Again, he played as a Montreal Expo for the first part of his career before moving on to a few other teams, and played really well in Montreal. One of the Expos I definitely remember growing up. Tully Sparks, who we drafted in the last draft in 1912, 13th overall, our first pick. Gonna, percolate a little bit in AA and AAA. You see all these players that are ready to come up. All the green arrows means they want to come up to the majors, but there's just no room right now. The guys at the bottom, 1.5, 2-star players, they're close to being on the way out. But I don't want to bring in a guy like Dan Collins. Notice Dan Collins right now is 4.5 stars. He's fully developed. He looks like he is going to be a bullpen ace. But he's only 19. And I don't want him to go right from AA to the majors. We're going to let him play at least one season in AAA. And he should dominate down there. Other than that, not much in terms of our prospects. Got a few more in AA, a lot in AAA, just waiting for their chance. So I think, probably the first ones that'll be promoted will be a couple pictures, not pictures. Dan Collins and Brickyard Kennedy. Not really any high prospects. We've got a few there. Joe Ward, who played on our team for a while. Dwight Smith, who had a cup of coffee in the majors. That's pretty much it. So we're kind of going with these as our 25 roster players. All right, it is the Deadball Era. So let's set our starting pitchers. I think we're going to go with I think we're going to keep Scott Stratton, Ted Kennedy, Roy Halladay, and we're going to put Al Atkinson as one of our two stoppers. Again, I think he's going to be in the rotation fairly soon. All right, let's go to opening day and find out how our team does in 1913. We're slightly under 500 on opening day matchups, so let's go check it out. Let's check out the messages. First, before we do that, our top prospects have been published, and the Montreal Expos do not have anyone in the top 10. Right now, Alex Manoah, Blue Jay, currently, Brett Saberhagen, and Kurt Welsh are your top 3 prospects. And again, Mickey Mantle, who we missed out on by 1 pick in which draft was it? The 1909 draft. He fell just before our pick. So I would have taken him just because, hey, it's Mickey Mantle. Right now, he's playing a lot of minor league ball, AA, AAA. I'm sure we'll see him up in the big leagues pretty quick. All right, let's go to our first game against Pittsburgh. And as always, we'll kind of quick sim the first few innings, and if it's close, then maybe we'll jump in and do a little bit of managing. Scott Stratton, again, two-way player, so he is going to play as our leadoff guy in left field, followed by Molitor, Jackson, Daniels, Majeski, Joe Sewell, Gargiola, Halladay, who will open up the season, and Juan Pierre. All right, let's go to the second inning. We are at home, and we get a hit, but nothing else. On to the third. Still scoreless game. To the fourth inning we go, and Montreal, if you guys have been watching these videos, they tend to have really good middle innings, and then it falls apart, and then it's kind of, sometimes we win late, sometimes we don't win late. But right now, 2-0 lead. Who got the season off to a wonderful start here? Roy Halladay with the flyout. Juan Pierre tripled. Strikeout with Stratton. It's funny, 2 of the first 3 batters are pitchers. Paul Molitor would triple home Juan Pierre, and then he would score on an error with Bo Jackson at the plate. Let's head to the 5th. Pittsburgh gets 1 back. It is 2-1. On to the 6th inning we go, and it is 3-3. High scoring inning there. Pittsburgh will take the lead, but in the bottom of the 5th, a double by Stratton. Grounding Stratton to third will be Molitor, and then Bo Jackson with the ground out will score Stratton. So it is 3-3. Let's go to the 7th. We always have a lot of close games, don't we? Opening day. Can never be a blowout, can it? Let's go to the 8th. 5-3. Montreal with a little bit of comfort now. In the 7th inning, a strikeout with Stratton, a single by Molitor. Bo Jackson will fly out, and then a 2-run home run. The first one of the season for Cal Daniels. All right, let's go to the 9th inning. And looks like we have to make a pitching change. Looks like Roy Halladay was pinch hit for. So let's bring in Danny Darwin here. Let's give him some early season action. Top of the 9th will go. We'll play this out. Omar Vizquel at the plate, and he will strike out. Danny, you got one more hitter here, and then we're going to go to our closers, our stoppers. And that will be a single for Taylor. So we've got Jack Balling at the plate, and we are going to make our pitching substitution, and we're going to give Al Atkinson some prime time coverage, making his major league debut, our first round pick, very recently, Al Atkinson. All right, Al, shaking off the nerves a little bit, and just like that, he gets the force out, the fielder's choice at second base. One more, and he'll pick up his first save. Irv Ray at the plate. Oh, that gets by the first baseman. That's going to go to the wall. Irv rounds first base, heading to second, and here comes the runner all the way to score. Irv with the triple. and Montreal with a 5-4 lead. Rookie pitcher on the mound. We got to give him a shot. Got to give him the opportunity. I don't believe that was his earned run. He did give up the run, the hit that led to the run, but can he get the final out? Number 9 hitter, pinch hitter, Dylan Carlson at the plate, and that goes right to third, and it's an error. Oh no, Al. Well, it won't count against you, Al. We're not gonna mark that down in the little manager book of don't put Al in the 9th inning. That wasn't your fault. A clean hit to the third baseman, and unfortunately, Hal Majeski booted the ball. So we're still gonna give you the chance. Al, you can't get the save, but you can get the win. Just get one more out. There it is, a strikeout, and we head to the bottom of the 9th with Scott Stratton at the plate. A walk-off situation. Stratton skies this one up to center field, actually to shortstop. So one away. Paul Molitor, the number 2 hitter, drives that one to short, fired over to first for the out. And Keith Folk facing Bo Jackson. Come on, Bo. Bo is not going to be the hero, at least not in the bottom of the 9th. So we head to the 10th, another extra inning game. We don't have a lot of live coverage, but when we do, we get extra baseball. Yes. Okay, we're heading off to the 10th inning. We're going to leave Al Atkinson in. He's got a lot of stamina. So he can go. We're probably going to give him 2 or 3 innings. Give him the opportunity for the win because nothing's really been his fault. No earned runs, and that is an infield single. 1 on, 1 out for Rusty Greer. And they got him down. A caught stolen base attempt for John Riley. And just like that, we have 2 out. Here comes a 3-1 count. That is driven to Majeski. Majeski this time makes no mistake, fires it over to first. And we go to the bottom of the 10th with the heart of the order. Daniels, Majeski, and Sewell due to come up. And that one was handled by the third baseman. 1 away for Majeski. Here we have, that one is driven deep just inside the foul pole. And Majeski makes up for his error earlier. Instead of giving L the save, he's going to give Al the victory. The Montreal Expos with the walk-off solo home run in the 10th inning. Whew. Maybe that's going to be an indication how our season goes. Roy Halladay goes 8 innings, giving up 3 earned runs. Danny Darwin would come in and give up a run. And Al Atkinson, 1 2/3 innings, does give up a run unearned and does get the victory for his major league debut. That will go down in the history books. First game of the season, first pitching appearance, and first win. And also a walk-off home run achievement for the Expos. Nice. Okay, let's go to the end of April. And before we move on and look at the April results, let's go and do our draw from the last video. 4 entries this time. And again, as these videos, make their way out into the public a little bit more, we'll probably have more names. So simply what I did is copy and pasted the 4 names, put them on a few more times just to make the wheel look a little bit more full, and 1 spin for 5 standard packs. So let's do this draw. The winner this video or last video of 5 standard OOTP perfect team packs will be Fussmucker. Fussmucker for the win. Fuss, we'll make sure you get those packs at some point. Again, depending on when this video is up and recorded, it may be on a Monday, a Tuesday, or a Thursday that you get those packs. So congratulations, and stay tuned because your question for today's video will be coming up later on. We are back for your April report and the player development. We've got positives. Looks like, just looking it over quickly, Ted Kennedy has moved up a little bit in potential. Looks like Paul Molitor has moved up in some areas. Majeski has gone up. We've got Juan Pierre. He has dropped a little bit. And you'll see some of the others. Dan Collins, the 19-year-old, looks like he has moved up a little bit according to the player development. Velocity has gone up a mile an hour. We've got the overall rating going up, the overall potential to a 5-star potential now. So Dan Collins, congratulations. Let's see how his season's going. He's 1 win, 4 saves, and has not allowed an earned run in the minor leagues in April. Fantastic, Dan. As far as the Expos, after the first month, we are not doing very well. 9-12. So we're not even going to look at the team yet. We're going straight to the next month. June 1st, as we prepare for the summer months ahead, Montreal 440 winning percentage. That's disappointing. I'm going to admit we're 2 months into the season. Things can change, but we got to make some changes here. And I think the first change we're going to make is we're going to swap out Atkinson for Stratton. I don't know if there's going to be much of a difference, but Scott Stratton as a starter just hasn't proven himself yet, which is, again, really disappointing. We passed on Ohtani to draft this guy. He's 7-8 with a 4.30 ERA. His ERA hasn't been great since he's been drafted. And again, we took him number 4 overall as a 17-year-old that was projected to be really good. So I don't know if it's the way we handled him in the minors in his career. Maybe we rushed him into AA ball a little bit too quickly, but he's just not performing. The good news is he's still only 23. He can still have a Ted Kennedy type of comeback. Oh yeah. Let's take a look. Roy Halladay is 4-6. Ted Kennedy is 6-8. This guy, he is so far the player of the decade for Montreal. He's had a fantastic career. We took him in the 15th round of the inaugural draft. And, if you look at our roster, we've only got 2 OGs left, 2 inaugural draft players, Kennedy and Spike. And Spike will probably be, on his last year or two. 36 years old. He was drafted in the 21st round of the inaugural draft. His career is not, stellar. He's not appeared many times in his career in Montreal. He's got maybe 30 games that he's played. But, he's filling a role until we can build up our system a little bit better. Other than that, every other player we have put on the team from one of the drafts after that inaugural draft. So here you take a look at our hitters. Maybe we need to do a few things here. Let's take a look at Montreal and their home stats. 2nd in runs scored, 4th in batting average. Woba 3rd. Base running pretty good. So it looks like it's probably our pitching. Even though our pitching WAR is 1st in the league, our defense is lousy. Our zone rating is lousy. Our errors. So it looks like in the future, we need to improve on that defense. Hitting is okay. Pitching seems to be pretty good. Cal Daniels 3rd in RBIs, 1st in home runs as we kind of start to get later on in the Deadball Era. Once we get to 1920, we're going to see those home runs start to improve quite a bit. Roy Halladay leading the league in WAR. So let's maybe we get a break this month. Let's go on to July 1st. Canada Day, and at least we can celebrate Canada Day that we are almost 500. We are 38-39. We're inching up. We are a slow-moving team this season. We didn't start off high and work our way down. maybe it's time to go the other way. Start down and work our way up. 7 games out, though, and this is a league where only the conference winners will make the World Series. So Cincinnati Reds 3 games up. If we go over to the AL, remember how I said keep your eye on Washington? They're going to be a dynasty in the future. Look at that. They're 1 game out. They have Dan Brothers, 314. And here is your Ty Cobb update for the video. Pretty good player. So Washington, even if we do make the playoffs and build our team, they're going to be a team to contend with, I think. Right now, Chicago White Sox are the team. And remember, if this is the first time you're tuning in, the Chicago White Sox are the dynasty of this franchise so far. 3 World Series in a row. In fact, they were in the World Series 4 out of 5 years. Yeah, they are the team to contend with, and they're still, kind of riding their peak a little bit. All right, let's go to the month of August. Can we get about 500, please? How about a 515 win percentage? August 1st, here you see the player development report. Again, I don't spend a lot of time going through each single player as they develop because these videos would be, 2 hours long, but I do leave them up on the screen a little bit for those of you that might be following certain players in this franchise just to see how they are progressing. Montreal did not have a good July. They are 462, 49 and 57. Again, Ted Kennedy leading the league in strikeouts. He's doing his part. Cal Daniels with 10 home runs. I guess this is just going to be a case where we have to start thinking about defense in our drafts. Now, Scott Stratton, he is a 9.5 zone rating. Manny Seguin, Hank Majeski, those 3 guys are doing really well defensively, but at the bottom, look at this, Cal Daniels. We have no pinch hitter. So I guess we could throw him at first base. And here's a case of he's crushing it offensively, but defensively, he is a liability. I mean, he's hitting 286, really good speed, going to get you a few stolen bases. He's got 32 on the season, but that defense is really hurting us. Al Shires, when he gets in the game, we've got Juan Pierre, center fielder, who should be doing much better than it's showing. He's only hitting 225, and he's costing us defensively. So he's a guy that definitely we have to consider replacing real soon. And then probably the biggest surprise is our shortstop. When you look at the ratings, maybe it's not as much as a surprise, but when you have a zone rating, what was it, of minus 11.4? Yikes. Wow. And I mean, let's look at his previous seasons. Last year, it was 11.9, 12.1. Yeah, Joe, this will likely be your last year. And the thing is, we can't trade him. We can't, look for better defense by trading someone with a high rating out of the game. So focusing more on defense, I think, is what we need to do. 272 average, as bad as not costing us. So Sewell, Cal Daniels, maybe over to first. Right now at first, we've got, where is he? Bob Chance. Hitting 265 and, I'll take minus 1.6 compared to some of those other players. Wow. It was time to look at defense. So Juan Pierre, Joe Sewell, think about maybe moving Cal Daniels to first, but not this season. I think this season it's probably too late to make any ground. We're late in the season already. Wow. Let's take a look at the stats around the league. And let's take a look at the fielding leaders. So you want to see what a good fielding player does when we look at zone rating? This guy here, who is a pitcher. So an 8.2 zone rating as a pitcher. But yeah, that we don't want to kind of compare pitchers to hitters. So let's kind of just take a look at our batters here. Make sure we can do that. Fielding, let's go the entire league. So who do we got? We got Omar Vizquel. Yeah. Joe Sewell, can you be like Omar Vizquel? At least defensively, 16.2. Wow. When did he go? He went in the 1906 draft, 15th overall. So we did have a shot at taking Omar Vizquel. Now, what is his offense like? Good question. 267. So he's hitting almost, I think he is hitting the exact same as Joe Sewell with much better defense. So here's a case of maybe we got to focus more on defense and less on offense when we do our drafts. All right, here is your skill testing question. Since we just talked about defense, this is what I want you to do to qualify for 5 standard packs in the chat, in the comments. I want you to give me one suggestion, whether it's, legit or not, about how we can improve this team. One suggestion. Use your perfect or include your perfect team username and make sure it's different from all the other suggestions. Again, even if it's kind of a fun suggestion, it doesn't have to be, something serious. Just add a comment with a suggestion how we improve the team. And we'll make the draw for those 5 packs in the next video. Let's move on to September. We are back. No, I cannot report a miraculous comeback for the Expos. In fact, we are 3rd from the bottom and 13 games out and just can't wait for that high draft pick. Let's look at the overall standings in the league just to kind of see where we're at right now. So based on win percentage 455, we have the number 4th overall pick, which might not be a bad thing, especially since we need some really good defense. Cincinnati 2 games up on the Cubs, and the White Sox are now 10.5 after I promoted the glorious Washington Senators and how they're going to be a dynasty. The peak White Sox said, not yet, Lap. Not yet. Not this year. Wow. Chicago. They are the kings of the franchise. Okay, well, we do have Ted Kennedy, Roy Halladay amongst the strikeout leaders. Halladay 2nd in WAR, Daniels 3rd in RBIs, 3rd in home runs. Again, our offense and our pitching, I don't think are the issue. I think if we had better defense, we would be maybe 5 to 10 games at least better. Just disappointing. Our pitching, again, is 500. And our bullpen, other than maybe Spike, who we talked about earlier, close to retirement, almost 37 years old. We just have to do what we can do. When we look at the minors, even in the minors, we got Dan Collins now, who has moved down to a 4-star player. Did I rush him? And not only did he move down to a 4-star, his slider has dropped. Remember, it was fully developed. I wonder if it'll show it here. It doesn't really give a more detailed development report. Oh boy. Yeah, so Dan Collins, did we rush you? Do you need to go to AA? He's got a really good ERA, 6-2 record. I mean, he's performing well. Or it could just be a matter of the game engine, because again, in our settings, when I set this up, talent change randomness is at 133. Average is 100. So this means that more than average, higher than average, we're going to get players develop more unexpected than what we're used to. So that could be a reason why we see players like Scott Stratton go down and we see someone like Ted Kennedy come out of nowhere and improve. But I like that. I like the fact that it's just not, okay, here he is as an 18-year-old, he's going to be a stud. I like the fact that we can have these boom and busts, and you have to deal with that. Okay, let's see if this is a September to remember. Let's go on to October. Well, here we are at the end of the regular season. I played right until the end of the regular season because we weren't even close. So there was no suspenseful moment like sometimes we have in our seasons. But I do want to go through the news report, our email a little bit here. A few players retiring from the minor leagues. Lewis Thorpe, happy retirement as a 36-year-old. He did play most of his career in Montreal. He was one of those guys that I felt bad about sending down because he really did have a solid career. I mean, most of the time his ERA was under 2, finished with over a 500 winning record, and even chipped in with 8 saves. So, Lewis Thorpe, thank you for your contributions to Montreal. And in rookie ball, a couple of the players that we probably took in the inaugural draft, or maybe later. Here's a 1910 pick. Somehow he's 35 years old, so I guess we drafted a really old player recently. We've got this player, 27-year-old, played his entire career in rookie ball. And finally, Charles King, a rookie ball player that, just kind of filled the roster spot. So there you go. There are retirements. In the playoffs, we have the Chicago White Sox there once again going up against the Cincinnati Reds. So again, let's look at the record. Chicago finishing at 93-61 and way outperforming Cincinnati at 85-69, who looks like they came down to a one-gamer with St. Louis. Did they go an extra game here? Let's look at the schedule. No, they did not. St. Louis last games were against us. they beat us in both games in October. Well, I'm going to call a sweep. Chicago's just way too good at this moment. So I think they're going to sweep the Reds. And Montreal will either get the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th overall pick. Look at that. We have a 3-way tie for the bottom of our division. I'm not sure how the tiebreaker works, but we did our best. We went 2-8 in the last 10 games. So maybe we get the 2nd overall pick, which I think would tie with our best. I think we had a 2nd, but regardless, we're going to be in the draft lottery. So we could get even the 1st overall pick. Excitement in Montreal. A draft lottery pick. All right, let's play out the playoffs and find out who is going to take home the 1913 championship. And I can't believe it. What's happening here? The Cincinnati Reds sweep the Giant in 4 games. How does that happen? They win 2-1, 6-1, 4-1, and 4-1. Chicago couldn't score more than 1 run every game. Player of the World Series was Matt Cain, 33-year-old Matt Cain, who was selected in the 1st round, 3rd overall. Again, in our inaugural draft, we weren't going for good players. We wanted to start kind of at the bottom of the order. So there you go, Cincinnati. Congratulations. Let's go on and check out our award winners. The hardware this season will go to, first of all, we'll take a look at the former previous champions. Cincinnati with, wow, this is their first World Series appearance. and a win. Congratulations, Cincinnati. So we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different champions from the NL. Wow, good stuff. Okay, well, let's take a look at some of the award winners. We'll start in the American League. Player of the Year, your MVP will be Dan Brothers. The fourth time that he has won it. He's got a long way to go to catch Pete Browning and rename the award. So far, the award is going to stay the Pete Browning Award. I've decided that if anyone wins an award 5 times or more, then whoever's won the most, we're going to rename it. So currently, we still have the Cy Young Award because no one's won it 5 times yet. Don Drysdale, back-to-back Cy Young winning seasons. Even though this season was better for Don Drysdale. 21-year-old. We could have a new award name in about 5 years' time. Rookie of the Year will go to Don Ace. Not sure how you pronounce his name, but he wins the Rookie of the Year. 24-12 as a 23-year-old. He was drafted in the first round back in 1911. We're not seeing 11 this time. I have to admit, that was a little bit freaky. And your reliever of the year, first-time winner, Bob Rush, 2-8. But he did have 20 saves and a 1.18 ERA, drafted in the first round, pick number 6 by your Washington Senators. Let's go over to the National League. I don't think we're going to be close here. Jimmy Wood, second-time winner of the MVP, drafted in the first round, second overall, back in 1905. So Jimmy Woods turned out to be pretty good. Also, if you want to kind of compare first overall picks, there were a couple videos ago. You should see it in the title of the videos. I did a video 10 years later with the first overall draft picks, and you can kind of see how they were then. We'll do that every 10 years. So when we hit 1920, then we'll go back and look at all the first rounders again, because some of them probably close to retirement. Alex Manoah is your Cy Young winner, 22-year-old, and he was drafted number 4 overall. So we're seeing a lot of 4s this time. Last time it was 11s. Jack Smith, Rookie of the Year, and boy, this kid has a lot of progression still to go. He could be dominant if he fully develops. Look when he was drafted. I kid you not. OOTP, your AI is trolling me now. 4th overall. You can't script this, guys. You can't script it. And Dave Righetti will win the reliever of the year, his first time as a top reliever, 23-year-old. He won't be 4th overall because he's a reliever. He was 13th overall by Chicago back in 1908. So there you go. There are your champions. Now we're going to go to the Hall of Fame voting, because we should start seeing some of those players that have retired be part of the Hall of Fame process. Last season, there was only one player. He didn't make the Hall of Fame, but let's see if we get a few more here, because both the AI votes and I vote for a Hall of Fame recipients. All right. Cast your ballot. What do we got? Oh, we've got a few. We've got Tim Belcher, Lenny Nails Dykstra retired. Oh, Tom Glavine, Carlos Guillen, Bill Fiddler Bill McGee, Scott Richmond, and Matt Shoemaker. The Shoe. Is he a lefty or a righty? I don't know. All right, so for my criteria for Hall of Fame, I just don't want to select someone for the sake of selecting them. I want to select someone that, kind of deserves it to get that recognition. So we see the career stats. Tim Belcher, 116 and 163, 30.3 overall WAR. He did almost get 1,000 strikeouts, but, he had a long, durable career, but it doesn't make him a Hall of Famer. We see the Hall of Fame metrics, which I don't completely understand how they work. I guess if we click on a player, we got Jaws, black ink, gray ink, standard. I don't know. I guess we could click on the question mark. Average of career WAR. Score derived from the number of times the player led the league. Okay, so he never led the league in any categories. Gray ink in the top 10. Okay, that kind of makes sense. The overall quality of a player's career and criteria that the Hall of Fame voters tend to use. Well, I'm gonna have to consider that in my votes here. So I'm not going to select him. I don't think Tim Belcher deserves it. Lenny Dykstra. Let's take a look at his batting career. 616 runs, 36.9 WAR player. How was his defense? Because you got to consider defense. Oh, look at that. He was a positive zone rating guy up until pretty much his last couple years. So he really fell off the pace. He went from a 9.5 to a -4 to a -13, which might not be all his fault. I mean, could be the team he has playing in front of him. Tom Glavine. Okay, so Lenny Dykstra. 4 Great Glove Awards, 2 World Series trophies. His Hall of Fame metrics are better. So for now, I'm going to put him as a candidate. I think he does deserve it. He's won 2 World Series, 4 Gold Great Gloves. Lenny, so far you're a candidate. Tom Glavine, losing record, similar to Tim Belcher, has over 1,000 Ks. Great player in real life, 41.2 WAR, and his metrics are better than Belcher by quite a bit. Is he a Hall of Fame candidate? Again, doesn't have as many wins as losses, led the league twice in most losses. To me, I can't give a Hall of Famer the nomination with a losing record. That's the first thing I kind of look at. ERA and dead ball, I think, should be lower. Otherwise, 29 shutouts. Well, he's on the bubble. Carlos Guillen. Metrics are better than Lenny Dykstra. 278 overall average, 39.5 WAR, 2 World Series trophies, 26 home runs. All right, he's a guy we have to consider. Fielding, career-wise, not very good. So, Carlos, that works against you. Batting-wise, OPS plus looks pretty good. He was caught more, so he wasn't a very good base runner. That's going to work against him. He struck out a lot more than he walked. 702 strikeouts. Carlos, based on defense, based on strikeouts, based on your poor stolen base, I'm not going to give you the nod. Bill Fiddler McGee. Again, losing record. Remember, these are players nominated because they meet the minimum standards that are set by OOTP. So when you set up a base game file, you can go into the different settings. We'll have to try and find it here. Maybe it's rules, options. There we go. And you could set your Hall of Fame criteria. So this is what I have set for my Hall of Fame criteria here in terms of what they need to achieve to get minimum, kind of the threshold to get in. And I believe there's other areas too where you can set some things. So I don't think we're going to select people because they've met the minimum. So Bill, even though you've had a good career, it's not a Hall of Fame career. Scott Richmond had a winning record, 34.3 WAR, no trophies, no accomplishments, almost 950 strikeouts. His metrics are better than Tim Belcher, and they are worse than Tom Glavine. And if Tom doesn't get in, you don't get in. And finally, Matt Shoemaker, again, a losing record, higher ERA, one Great Glove Award, one Reliever of the Year award, but again, just doesn't quite meet what I think should be a Hall of Fame player. So what do you guys think? Do you think I made the right selection? Do you think that Lenny Dykstra is the only solid nomination? Or should no one be nominated? Or am I missing some people? I'd love your opinion, especially if you play the base game a lot and you know statistics of real life baseball. Let me know what you guys think in the comments as you enter the contest that I mentioned earlier, if I made the right call. Okay, let's submit the ballot. And now we're going to go to the, well, we can't see the results yet. So let's go to the draft lottery. We are there. One of the bottom 4 teams. Let's find out. Okay, draft lottery time. I would love to have the first overall pick. Let's go and take a look at the draft pool before we look at the results. We've got Frank Schulte. Again, I kind of want to focus more on infield defense or a center fielder, and Frank doesn't fit the bill. But look who we have at number 2. Boy, oh boy, at number 2, being brought into the game, Willie Mays. At number 3, that's a lot of blue. He is almost maxed as a starting pitcher. Jim Devlin, who only played 3 years back in the 1800s. He can also good dead ball because he can pinch hit. Not very well, but he can if he needs to. Or pinch if he's a starting pitcher. 5-star potential. A lot of room to go. But at least his movement's completely developed and 1.5 pitches. And then number 4, 2 of the premier outfielders in the history of baseball are brought into the league at the same time. We may not have got Ty Cobb, but we have an opportunity to get Willie Mays or Ken Griffey Jr. We don't know the order they're going to go in the draft. And you know what is cool? How cool is this? This is how I know OOTP is trolling us, because in the draft with Ken Griffey Jr., we have his dad. Ken Griffey Sr. is in the draft, projected to go in the top 10. Let's go to the lottery. Where will the Montreal Expos pick? We need number 1 because I think Willie Mays could go number 1. 18 years old, out of high school. Here it is. The draft lottery winner is, now remember, every time a season rolls over, they rename us the back to the Boston team that we changed the name at the beginning to, so it will show the Boston Braves. But it is the Expos. Here's the draft lottery. Number 1 pick will go to the New York Giants. All right, the New York Giants moved up from number 2. They'll get the first pick. We move up from number 4. I will take that. We're projected to get the 4th pick. We will get the 2nd pick, which means we will either get Willie Mays, that dominant starting pitcher potential, or Ken Griffey Jr. Number 3 pick, dropping from 1, is the New York Yankees, and the Pittsburgh Pirates drop 1 position to number 3. Let's take a look at the mock draft. Let's go in and take a look how the mock draft has everything set up. Oh, did I tell you or did I tell you? The two players we were targeting are projected to go number 1 and number 2. The pitcher has fallen to number 4, and Frank has fallen to number 3. We escaped potential bullet by getting the number 2 pick. If we would have stayed at number 4, it would have been a disaster, because I think we would have lost out on 3 of the top 4 players in the draft. Here you see some of the other players. AJ Burnett is there. Bobby Abreu. We've got Senior. What other names do we see? Nick Marquesis, Vasquez. Yeah, there's some players you might remember. Maury Rath from back in the day. Roland Office, which I always thought was a cool name. Johnny Ray. Bob Turley, who I use in Perfect Team quite a bit for my bronze team, and some of the others. The Montreal Expos projected to get at least Ken Griffey Jr. I am hoping Willie falls. There are no trades here. I cannot trade for the number 1 pick. I am really hoping Willie falls. As we enter the draft with the number 2 pick overall, the New York Giants select. We'll be back next episode. We will do the draft. We will play our opening game. We will spend some time putting together hopefully a better defensive roster. Enter the contest. Thanks for watching. Oh boy, oh boy. We'll see you next episode.